Hey there folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 212. It's been a while since I've recorded, like 3 or 4 weeks since I've recorded this, so maybe not that long, say 3 weeks. So I'm a little bit behind. All I remember is that they actually beat Takano, and I don't know where the game is going to go from there, so let's go. Early the next morning, Une and the others were in the school courtyard designated over the radio. Courtyard designated over the radio. Weird grammar. Roughly 30 of the Sonzaki group's toughest men were surrounding them and glaring in all directions. A helicopter was approaching. Une was the only one being extracted. Oh, she's getting to escape. Take care. We've paid you back for saving us now. I hope you managed to save everyone with your body's secret. Your body's secret. Thank you for taking care of me. Une was forced to wear airtight clothes. All the JSDF men riding in the helicopter were in them too. It's a slight shame how we're being left behind though. I'm sorry. N17. No. Until we understand the cause of the illness, we can't be allowed to leave. So even though everything's settled with Une-chan, we're still stuck in survival mode for now. Well, you'll be safe as long as you stay here. I think this strange illness will settle down over time. There's fewer of those crazy people already. Peace will soon return to the city. Doesn't this feel like the end? But we've got too many achievements left for it to be. The rioters who handed their hearts over to demons continue to kill each other without getting tired of it. But like Kasai said, eventually they'd kill themselves off and things will quiet down. From what Tomataki heard over the radio, they were already preparing to send aid to Shishibone City, and food, water, other necessities would be transported by air. Such an incredibly large uproar couldn't be wrapped up that easily. But we had our light of hope. Une was the key. Thank you. Thank, you. Do your best out there. I'm happy to welcome you to this planet. I'm, happy too. I'm super happy. Foo 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 foo. Huh? Une waved her hand from the helicopter flying away. The club members all waved innocently back at her. Only Rika absent-mindedly watched her go. She was pondering something she couldn't explain in Une's smile as she left. Is she not as innocent as she seems? Afterwards, she was transferred to Tokyo's facility, the National Institute of Infectious Diseases. With the disaster already reaching several 100,000 people, it was no longer possible to cover up the existence of Hinamazawa syndrome. The world was in an uproar over this mysterious virus, capable of making humans randomly go violent. Of course, the secret research institutions of the major nations that knew about neuroparasites were paying attention to the progress of the current neuroparasite biohazard. They dispatched many researchers to help, because there was no guarantee it would remain solely Japan's problem once it reached that point. Samples of Une's cerebrospinal fluid were taken and transported to the most classified research labs of each nation. She conned everyone, I just know. Yep, there it is. There's that evil little grin. My seeds have reached every corner of the blue flower bed. I'm happy. I'm super happy. She looks so Yumiko in those clothes. Foolish leader of the horned people, tremble in fear at your sin of unleashing that terrifyingly corrupt people upon our world. It's already too late. Your and Takano's evil plot is finished now. Hello. Tamura Hime no Makoto. If you have something you want to say, why not say it? What was it you were trying to achieve? Takano was your priestess, so Takano was following your orders and trying to accomplish some specific task. What was it? That's not even worth asking. She was bullying Une and trying to spread Hinamazawa syndrome everywhere to sow chaos. Oh! That doesn't make sense though. Hanyu, the syndrome is a tainted people to her, right? So why would Tamura have Takano spread them everywhere? Excuse me. Oh? Tomataki said that Takano was going to defeat a devil, and in doing so, save humanity. Then she started spreading N173. She's both trying to save humanity and trying to destroy it. These goals contradict each other. I didn't pay any mind because I was sure it was just one of Takano's crazy delusions. But if it was all as Tamura ordered, then none of it was meaningless. a mere child of man, let alone the priestess of the foolish horned people, wouldn't understand, even if I were to tell you. How foolish you are. Please don't look down on me. Unlike her, my head isn't filled with cream puffs. Vika, I don't understand what you're getting at all. Tamura loathes the horned people, so why would she try to spread them outside of Hinamazawa? It can't be. The horned people and Une's people had equally strong roots. On top of that, Tamura called Une a devil. And she told Takano that she would save humanity. You had Takano spread N173, so Une couldn't spread herself? Yes. After all, just as those infected by Une couldn't be infected by N173, the reverse was also true. If you infected them with N173, they couldn't be infected by Une. But if she infects them with us, then those with weak minds will be in big trouble. There's no worry about that with Une, though. How do you know that? You just convinced yourself that's the case, after communicating with Une, right? In other words, you've just accepted Une's claims without question, haven't you? Oh? I see. It appears the leader's foolishness has not infected her priestess. That means that you made a hard choice. You decided that handing over a portion of your land, the entirety of Shishibone City, to the tainted people was at least preferable to that. Isn't that right? Which means that you knew about Une, didn't you? Hers is an accursed race, which brought forth great catastrophe upon her motherland. I love when there's vocals in a soundtrack in games. Phew, this is super fun. Une, it's been a while. Foolish Hanyu, know her true nature and tremble with terror at your sin. Tamura Hime? You totally pulled a fast one on me. The moment I awoke and tried to bloom, the flower bed around me was already filled with that fool's flowers. I'm sure she did get you good. This cream puff for brains is a useless weed, but her roots are strong enough that you couldn't beat them. You tried to make your infection explode through the population, but since Takano had already spread N173, you couldn't do that. I was at a total loss. But then a dumbass who believed my story just happened to show up. Phew. Yeah, dumbass. Even though her brain was an empty cream puff, lacking even in cream, she finally realised that she'd been tricked. Hanyu had believed that they understood everything about each other after her communication with Une. Hanyu had openly shared everything about herself because she was so simple, but that wasn't the case for Une. She cleverly hid her true nature and her terrifying plot to deceive Hanyu. Which means, Tamura Hime no Makoto, you saw through her, didn't you? Know that the plot from the leader of such accursed people could never deceive my insight. Tamura had known what Une was after. Une's goal was to propagate herself throughout every corner of this blue planet's huge flower bed. If she did that, then you all would perish, huh? So you had to fight, just like you once fought Hanyu's people. Hanyu said Tamura was once mean to her, but that probably wasn't her just being mean. From Tamura's perspective, she was likely fighting to protect herself. Fortunately, they learned Hanyu's people couldn't live outside of Hinamazawa, so they managed to maintain 1,000 years of peace by avoiding each other. However, if a new people that weren't bound to such a small area came here... I see. To you she certainly would be a devil, and so you used Takano to stop her. But calling her a devil that'll destroy humanity is going too far. She might be a devil that would destroy you, but the humans would, don't know, okay, which parasite is living in their heads. I suppose that's the limit of the understanding of the horned people's priestess. Foolish. It's super too late now, you idiots. We're totally consuming this whole planet. Now awaken, my children, my seeds. Sink your roots into this world and bloom. Bloom and spread yourselves wide. Une spread her arms like she was spreading a pair of wings, and issued her orders to all of her children scattered throughout the whole world. And away they go. The children of man couldn't quarantine Une's seeds with their mere concept of disease prevention. The humans researching her across the world were already infected. America, Georgia State, Atlanta. America's Center for Disease Control and Prevention was the fortress on the front lines protecting humanity from viral infections, and also the highest world authority on the subject. Yet in a secret ward, the Neuroparasite Research Division, they were researching her children. They were researching it with the greatest precautions and most modern equipment, but the techniques of mere mortals were unable to stop the spread of the children of a god. The head researcher first collapsed on a bus on his day off. People rushed to his aid one after another and collapsed as well until the driver also lost consciousness. Fortunately, the bus was already stopped. Yet that wasn't a silver lining, because neither humanity or even inhuman beings possessed the means to stop the spread of Une's children. The same thing happened in Sverdlovsk, a blast within the Russian Federation, right in Yekaterinburg, secret biological weapon research center. Of course, it also happened in Japan's National Institute of Infectious Diseases within Shinjuku, Tokyo, as well as in other research centers in England, France, China, Korea, other nations too. And then they travelled through the transportation technology that humanity had foolishly overdeveloped, spread into all lands throughout the world. However, humanity lacked the means to notice it at all. Roughly 2 weeks after the initial spread of infection, when Une's children had spread throughout every corner of the globe, the first symptoms developed. The infected, though at this point the infected and all humanity were synonymous, then learned for the very first time that they were all infected with something unknown to them. I'm not sure I like this whole thing about it being like spread but like seeds and all that sort of stuff. If it was just zombified and a virus going around, yes. But they're sort of making it this extra level. I'm not sure I like it quite as much. People were afflicted with intense drowsiness, and one after another they crumpled and fell asleep on the spot. They had become a seed bed. Ooh, teeth. Once they finished consuming all of the nutrients of their host, they broke out through the host body, spread more seeds, consumed all of humanity. Because Une's people had no intention of coexisting with humanity at all. Once they had consumed their flower bed, they would travel through space once more in search of the next. An accursed people indeed. 7 weeks after the initial infection, humanity's population was reduced to 20% of its former size. Of course, even that 20% was being culled as well. Then they would once more return to space in search of an organism with a brain to host them. I'm really intrigued to see where this goes, actually. Afterward, only the hosts of the horned people who couldn't be infected by that accursed people would remain on Earth, which meant that only those people in this region who Takano had infected with N173 and had not turned their hearts over to a demon managed to survive. There were far too few humans remaining to maintain civilized society, so eventually they too would perish completely. How can they possibly save this? Ooh, I like this track. Super fun, super happy, super awesome. Super duper. Super krahaha. Une? This reminds me of Zone and Thorns track. Is it Zone and Thorns track in Pharmacy 9? Or the one where they're sneaking around in Alexandria anyway. Consuming everything is my people's only entertainment. And I mean consuming an entire planet is super fun. Once my people have consumed them all, no one will be able to get in our way. When faced with me, the weak flowers of this planet are like sugar lumps before hot coffee. You've sure done it now. Ooh, betrayal in victory, defeat. Another achievement. You pretended to be weak so you could use us to advance your plans. Well done. I couldn't fool Tamura Hime no Makoto. She was clever. Do not underestimate me. Know that I am the leader of the people ruling over this nation of Yamato. Yet that hornhead and her priestess. You two were super easy to fool. When the gods are fooled, so is the priestess. You two are both super dumb. When the god's incompetent, so is the priestess. You're a useless god with nothing useful to your name. No power, no supernatural power either. You're super dumbo. What is this? She's taking me off 5 times as much as Tamura. I really agree. It's really annoying to hear us called incompetent. Know that you are indeed incompetent. You're tainted people, and now foolish people. You should hit your head on a steamed bun and die. A steamed bun? Well, I never knew that Une was going to destroy the world. It's not my fault. You know that all other races are enemies, yet you just handed it over to her. There's a limit to how stupid one can be. Oh, you could have just told us that, Tamura. So it's your fault, Tamura. Be quiet. I'll not listen to you, tainted people. This is super fun. It's going around in circles a bit now. Perish, you stupid gods of this blue flower bed. You stupid humans. You incompetent priestesses too. Une laughed loudly, while Hanyu and Tamura insulted each other like children. Children of the corn? They seem like... It seemed quite pathetic that this was a fight between gods who had brought about the extinction of humanity. Vika placed a hand on her forehead like she was enduring a headache, but her frustration was winning at that particular moment. Listen, I don't consider myself a human, and I don't care if our world is destroyed, but there's one thing I just can't forgive. The fact you looked at me, Vika Furude, who has overcome the mountain that is hundreds of deaths, and called me incompetent. The term incompetent is what you use for a man who goes off to the hot spring at a critical moment. You intend to oppose me? You, a mere child of man? That's super funny. Vika pulled something out of nowhere that glinted with a silver light. What's that? Don't you know? It's a kitchen knife, a cooking tool, the perfect instrument for chopping up food and detestable people. Yeah, like putting into the side of your own head. I'm super laughing right now. How do you plan on fighting me with a tool of mankind? That's super funny. Super croo-foo-foo. From the perspective of humans, those inhuman beings were like a moon on the water's surface. She could swing a weapon all she wanted in the world of man, but it wouldn't even disturb the water's surface, let alone harm the moon floating in the sky. However, for them to manifest in the world of man, they required a priestess. To put it in human terms, they required a queen carrier as a host. If she defeated Une's queen carrier, was that correct to say? Was it better to say Une herself? Then she could at least deal a decisive blow to her. Give her a good stabbing. However, my body is super beyond your reach. You can't even leave Shishibone City, so you can't lay a finger on her. Nearly all of my people have been taken captive. I have no idea where she is at present. If only I could have taken her down while she was trapped in Shishibone. But thanks to this tainted cream puff... Yes, you. That's enough. Honestly, it's your fault for being so petty, Tamura. Holding a 1,000-year grudge over a single meal. I'll never give you a single grain of rice that's been dedicated to me. I was starving. You could have spared a little. Stop it, you two. Besides, this battle isn't over yet. It feels over. Oh? How are you going to face me by yourself when I've super enveloped your entire world? That's super funny. The battle isn't over. This battle is totally super over already. The fact she says super all the time gets my tits. You're right. This battle is over already, as far as you two can conceive. But from my perspective, it isn't over yet. No, perhaps it's more accurate to say this battle was over the moment you revealed your true nature? It's over. It's my victory. How? How? Yeah, how? What nonsense is your priestess spouting? How can she possibly save the world in this situation? I want to know. I super want to know. I'm the one who wants to know. It's already too late. The world's ending. How are we going to save this world now? Hey, how can you not understand? Have you forgotten how this is used? How? You're going to hack open Une's head with a knife? If she were not a god, I would command you to behead Une, indeed. You two both have your heads filled with cream-free cream puffs. I'll teach you how this knife is used, right now. Oh? What you totally think you're doing? The cause of your defeat was revealing to me your true identity and whereabouts. Huh? You know where Une is right now? How do you know where, when even Tamura doesn't? Still, even if you did know, you gotta know there's nothing you can do if she's not here. It doesn't matter where she is right now. Back then, she was here in Akanamaya. That's all I need to know. What are you saying? I super don't get it. Let me tell you something. You're going to lose. Because you made me mad. Ooh, you don't make Rika mad. who got stabbed. Let's go back. Back to the moment Une became aware of the other Une and awakened her on this planet. It was the day before Takano started spreading N173. Since Une had just awoken, her presence was still faint. Tamura had yet to grasp her whereabouts. Une had learned how weak Tamura's roots were, and she was making preparations to bloom at once and spread her people everywhere. Tamura had given up on discovering Une's whereabouts and welcomed Takano as her priestess to prepare her bitter plan of stopping Une's explosive spread. Her plan of having Takano spread N173 before Une could, which meant that at present, neither Une nor Takano had spread anything at all. The world had yet to reach the point of no return. In other words, if Une's ambition could be halted on this day, then it would all end before it started. But that was impossible. Without a time machine, Hehehe, I've super woken up. I couldn't fool Tamura Hime no Mikado, but that doesn't matter. I don't need to worry about someone with such weak roots as I move on to take over this planet and super consume it. Super kihihi. Une's ambition of conquering the world with her people was born here in the small town of Akanamaya in rural Japan. No one in the world had noticed this terrifying resolve just yet. However, hihihi. He? Uh-oh. Good afternoon. You, Une-chan, are you? Who are you? Rena, did you find her? Oh, this must be her. Oh, it is. She looks exactly like she did in the portrait. Rika's pretty good at drawing, isn't she? I'm quite surprised. The older girl with the ponytail held up a sketchbook with a portrait that looked exactly like me. I was suddenly surrounded and didn't understand why. I finally found you, Une. That's how she found her then, going back in time and showing them, and yeah. Who might you be? Our first time meeting would normally be some weeks from now, but I only met you just the other day. While I say just the other day, I mean several months ago. I only had today to find you, so I had a hard time searching for you, Une. Foo. You shouldn't underestimate me and Rika, Une. We've already seen your ambition for world conquest. How did you see through my ambition? See? The leader of the Horned People and her priestess aren't so powerless or incompetent after all, huh? It's just so tiresome, it weighs on the patience a bit. But from my point of view, you're the incompetent one. Flash. This is the ancient god-binding treasure, normally kept in the Fude Shrine's ritual storehouse. Now, everyone, bind her up in this sacred rope. Nipa. You're binding me in circles. Oh, to think you'd find Une so easily when I couldn't uncover her. You have my thanks, children of man. You've shown yourself, Tamura Hime no Makoto. By the way, you're equally guilty. If you just let go of your pride and asked us for help, you wouldn't have needed to cause such a huge disaster in the first place. I am the proud Tamura Hime no Makoto. Know that I would never indebt myself to the savage and tainted Horned People. That's why you're just as guilty. Flash. What? The god-binding treasure? Ah. Gone both at once. Now we've captured all the ringleaders of this commotion. Oh. This was a tragedy that could have been prevented if you and Tamura weren't on bad terms in the first place. You said the two of you fought over a single meal, right? It's not my fault. Tamura shouldn't have been so stingy. She had so much being offered to her. It wouldn't have hurt her to share a bit with me. In other words, you stole it from her, so you're just as guilty. Flash! Is this why you brought 3 sacred ropes with you? Ah! Excuse me. Is that thing sorted? Is it all done? We heard the whole story from Rika-chan. You're all gods, right? I wish you'd give a little consideration to the humans you're endangering. It's good that we prevented it ahead of time, but this might have turned into a terrible disaster, you know? It wasn't just terrible, I experienced it firsthand. Anyway, it's not good for us if you gods don't get along with each other. Still, they're awfully cute gods, aren't they? I imagine they'd have much scarier faces. Oh, I am Oyashiro-sama. This treatment isn't fair. Why, you children of man, it's outrageous to show me such disrespect and call me cute. How do you know about my ambition to conquer the world? I totally can't accept this. Une-chan, why were you plotting to destroy our world in the first place? Because we super love consuming everything. So then what about after you've consumed and ruined everything? How long does it take you to find a new planet? Takes long enough to drive you crazy, doesn't it? And I'm betting you're feeling lonely that whole time, aren't you? Aren't you? But Tamura told me to get out. That super ticked me off. At first I thought about living here peacefully. Tamura's bullying is the root of all evil. You all would have made the fatal mistake of letting Une escape the city. So in short, Une decided to destroy the world because Tamura Hime no Makoto told her to get off this planet. Yes, that's right. So then Tamura-chan refused to talk to Hanyu-chan or Oyashiro-sama about it because they fought, and decided to resolve it herself using terrible methods. I didn't want to borrow any help from the tainted people. Yet the whole reason they were on bad terms in the first place is because Hanyu-san stole some of her offerings, right? It's my fault. I can't believe you're treating me like I'm the main cause of all this. Oh. Yes, quiet. We've heard the defendant's excuses. To sum up, you're all at fault because you three couldn't get along. One-chan finally made it here to Earth after a long isolated journey too. I think Tamura-chan could have tried to accept her a bit more. Just a bit. And Tamura Hime no Makoto, I can understand you might resent her for eating your offering. But to stay on bad terms for 1,000 years and then refuse to consult her or ask for her help in a time of need, only to ultimately take drastic actions on your own, isn't very praiseworthy either, you know? For starters, this whole problem became more complicated because Hanyu-san just refused to apologise. No one should get that mad over just one meal. I'll never reconcile with that starving, empty-headed cream puff. I just wanted you to share a little bit of this flower bed with me. Yet you bullied me, Tamura. See? Did you see? This really is all Tamura's fault. Une is a devil that would destroy everything. Une is the one to blame for all this. I think Tamura's hatred for the other races all started when Hanyu went and stole food from her. If Hanyu hadn't done that, then Tamura wouldn't hate outsiders, and she might have accepted me. You know, that's exactly right. This cream puff for brains is the cause of all this. I refuse to be treated like I'm the one to blame. Silence. Now we'll hand out the verdict. All three of you are equally guilty of the crime for failing to get along, so your punishment is having to play games in our club. The three of you can happily play games together and deepen your camaraderie, so you can all forgive and forget when it matters most. Consider this a generous sentence from the priestess of the Fude Shrine. Oh, you'll just be deepening your friendship over some fun games. Once you've all had fun enjoying the same experiences, I'm sure you'll get along better, I'm sure. This has gone very light-hearted all of a sudden. It won't just be you gods either. We humans will join in too, to really make this a lively affair. However, we club members never take it easy on opponents, do we? We'll have to show you plenty of our gratitude for getting us humans caught up in your fight between gods. It's no fun when you gods fight by yourselves and we can't participate. So we'll take this opportunity to teach all three of you that you shouldn't take humans lightly, okay? What fools. We're gods, will not be defeated in the mere games of man. I'll totally never be defeated by mere humans. Oh, so you humans are challenging the gods? Then we won't hold back either. Tamura Hime no Makoto was a steady player. Her style focused on defense more than offense, so she should have been a tough opponent. Une was likely to toy with us magnificently, using her sly tricks and fluid adaptability. Then Hanyu had her indecipherable dumb luck. She was the greatest opponent in a game involving chance. They were still gods. There was no reason for them to lose a game to humans. However, when it came to games, the club members weren't human either. Oh. Well, there we go then. It feels like it just cut off the story. It just suddenly went to like happy game mode and cut off. It's bizarre. Bloody bizarre. But I didn't expect it to be the end. I think there's going to be more, really. Don't know for sure, but even the music went really super happy, you know, to use her phrase. This was... Ooh, what can I say? This was a good arc, like the two mini arcs together kind of thing. But I'm not sure. It just still wasn't as good as the other arcs, and I can see why they kept it as an extra arc. I wonder if maybe he wrote it but didn't finish it. Maybe he didn't like it, or you know, maybe he did have it as an extra thing. He wrote more, but who knows? Who knows? Just waiting for the credits to play out now. I say credits, the in-game characters. Higurashi, when they cry, ho! Oh, it is carrying on. I think we'll leave it there, because God knows I think there's going to be more. If there's not, I'll just have to tack it on in editing or something. Anyway, this has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit. We'll see what happens after the credits. See you in a bit, folks.